Hello everyone, welcome to my latest Transformer haul vid. I've been to the car boots again this weekend. Managed to get to quite a few, but one I actually would have liked to have got down to. Only Norris had sort of said down at the school he works at there was one down there, but through the way I was going round to the usual car boots I go to, the time I would have got down there I think it would have pretty much been ending and sort of near enough packed up, which is a real shame because it would have been quite nice if I'd bumped into him again, saw him down there. But I'll have to sort of see if they hold another one on another weekend when I'm not quite so busy at the normal ones I go to. I'll have to try and get down there. But if I say I've had a beast of a haul weekend, it might tip you off to some of the bits that I've found. Now I'll start the haul off with some of the small bits, junkers and bits and bobs like that. I managed to actually complete a few bots in this haul as well with parts, or very near complete anyway. But so I'll go through the junkers first. Now one junker I picked up because I do see him from time to time missing certain bits, and I actually think it was worth picking up this one's reasonably good condition, the bits what are there, and it shouldn't be too difficult to find another one with the missing parts. So I got an animated Grimlock. Now he's missing one of his main arms, which pretty much is a ball joint, so pretty simple to fix if I find another one, the right arm. And he's missing one of his, what would be his sort of back flap parts, which is the sort of chest area with the dinosaur arm on the back there. But other than that, he actually is in pretty tidy condition. So like I say, I do see them from time to time, usually are missing bits, but it's worth taking the risk on that one. Now speaking of Grimlock, what I will just sort of let you know about, and I must admit I ummed and ahed whether or not to get it just to sort of see if I could pick bits up for it, but in the end I gave up sort of like the thought of getting it. I actually saw a masterpiece Grimlock at the car boot, and actually if I use Grimlock to explain, when I had a closer look at it, the woman started explaining, oh, I got it for my son, he couldn't really do it, obviously it's too complicated being a masterpiece, or it was about £70 when it was new, which you know is about right. And I started having a look, and there was a leg joint at the knee had gone. Well, it's just held by a pin, which I thought, well, I could fix that. And as I looked, I think there's a lower part which is on a ball joint, which is part of like the foot in robot mode, was missing. I thought, well, you know, the likelihood of finding another one for a part, but I thought, well, could put it into dinosaur mode and have it on display in T-Rex mode. Then I looked, and the top of like the T-Rex head, there was damage to the top of that, which God knows even why there was damage to that. So he was half and half sort of transformed. So I opened up the chest of the dinosaur mode, which didn't have its little spindly dinosaur arms, by the way, so that's another thing what mucked up the dinosaur mode. And I thought, well, what about robot mode then, because even with a foot missing might kind of look reasonable on display. I opened up the chest, no robot head either, and it just kind of makes you think, why buy a kid, and she did say he was 6 years old, why buy a 6-year-old a £70 transformer that's too complicated for a kid that age really. I'm not saying all kids, but obviously it was too complicated for him. And she said even like her and her husband and a couple of mates tried to have a go transforming it, whether they were too heavy-handed and bust it as well, I don't know. But it is a crying shame, because when I first saw it and I thought, oh, masterpiece Grimlock at a boot fair, if it had been good in one mode it would have been worth getting. Such a shame. Anyway, so I mean, if they rip the animated ones apart, you can imagine how badly masterpieces get treated. Getting on to my next, it's not quite a junker, it just needs a little bit of sorting out. I got, and he's semi transformed. He's not quite right, but I thought I'd show it anyway. I got a Beast Wars Spitor, I believe he is, which is like a poisonous frog. His gimmick does still work, which weirdly he's got a tongue that pops out of his mouth, which frogs do, but not with a head on. That's weird. But I still like it, and my other half does. He's quite fond of frogs, so it's quite a good little one just to have in frog mode anyway. But he's going to oblige me by behaving. Yeah, not bad. And the only piece what's actually missing is in robot mode, and it's not broken, it's just missing in the fact it's come unattached, is one of the robot feet. So that's the only bit I've got to look out for, so I might well find that on another haul. Getting to the next one, this one I picked up for some of the parts off of it. If you remember in one of my other hauls not so long ago, I got this Scout class figure, and he's actually got 2 of the freewheel parts for his bike mode, so I can at least add that to the other one, which is I think a little bit more complete than this guy apart from the wheels, so I can actually use him to repair, or part repair anyway, the one I've already got. I also found, let's see, a deluxe class Brawl, although they called him Devastator in the first movie. Missing a couple of bits, mainly his main gun and the rocket launchers and one of the scoops. But for robot mode, other than the fact his main gun's missing from his arm, he'd actually be alright in robot mode. So, and of course, well, his weapon pods as well on his shoulder. But it's not the end of the world, and again, you know, I might well find Brawl in this colour scheme again, possibly with other bits missing. I did have to stick his arm, and it's actually the whole turret section. I had to stick that whole bit back on. I did have a good look through for the other parts, but unfortunately they weren't there with it. But again, it's a recolour of the movie line one, which actually kind of works in a different colour, because it could sort of be another Decepticon. But again, not bad and worth picking up. Literally, I think this whole haul with everything I show you cost me about £7 or £8 altogether, and as I go through you'll see that was a good deal. Next one, which is missing a few bits, which is a little bit annoying because I thought it was a little bit more complete at the time I picked it up, but again I see them now and again, but tattier generally, and another reason why I had a beast of a weekend. Optimus Primal, I had to think about it there. He's missing gun bits on one side on his knee. He's got a broken bit on one foot, so again that's a bit would have to be replaced. No monkey head, or at least ape head. Yeah, has got his robot one anyway, so in robot mode, if that wants to zoom back out, in robot mode it's reasonable, but the main thing is his chrome's in good nick, so it was worth picking up for that. If I find another one what's chatty but a bit more complete, I can always add the bits to it, and it fleshes out the Beast Wars line a little bit more. But yeah, not great, but again, really cheap. Now what's next? What should I go with? Something what's not complete, and technically not a Transformer as such. I found a Robo Machines, which I would assume is one of the GoBots. He looks very similar to a black Apache one I've got. Only missing its rotors, and actually in very good nick, good condition. Die cast as well, because it's from the original sort of line back in, what's that got in it, 1985. So other than that, not bad. Oh, one of these little propeller blades is missing on the tail, but not the end of the world on that either. But yeah, it's worth picking up just for a little bit of nostalgia factor. Now, let's see. A part I picked up, well, parts. Quite chuffed to find this. I think there is still possibly one little bit missing off one of the weapon parts, but for my Cybertron Optimus Prime, I got it ages ago on one of the hauls, possibly even last year. Now this needs a good clean, and I haven't got around to doing that yet, so if you see dirty marks on it, it won't look like that in the end. But I found his rear trailer section, and I think there could possibly be a bit missing off this side, but the other side is all there and will still work. Obviously got to change batteries and that in it to make it do the sound effects and stuff, but that in itself was quite good and I was quite pleased. It's got the shoulder connectors and everything still attached, but when I had a bit more of a route around, I found both of the wings what go with it, and better still, which is a real bonus, I found the other parts which fit on the trailer as well, but also are the leg strengtheners and extensions and that when you do the Jetwing Prime mode for this, and was short of those, and I know they aren't cheap to pick up second hand, so quite chuffed to find those bits. I'll put them to one side. Now another one that's got a little bit of damage. I thought he actually didn't have any at first, but he's missing one of his connecting ports on one of his arms, which is, I don't know the name of this figure actually. I don't know if it's Leadfoot or something like that. It's from the Power Core Combiners. The connector on this arm's okay, but it's snapped off from that arm. But I have seen him before in tatty condition, missing limbs, so there's a good chance I might find another arm for him. And I think his small robot head's missing, so I put the big one out, just in this mode anyway. But yeah, just as a figure at the moment, and like I say, I might well find the other bits for him. It's not bad, and again, he was in amongst others, so it didn't cost me the earth anyway. Talking Power Core Combiners, I did find one of the Decepticon limbs, which forms an arm. I'm assuming for, say, like a Bruticus sort of combiner, which is a bit like a heavily armed A10 Thunderbolt. Again, fine, it was pennies to pick up. And I think there's one more here what is missing a couple of little bits, and to give you a demonstration, I haven't actually even tidied this guy up. I think I do have him in this mode, but like I say, he's only missing a little tiny bit from one of the rear window parts of the car mode, and this is the way I tend to find some of the bots. This is Movie, I'm trying to think of his name now, I had it a second ago as well. It's gone from the minute. But one of the Movie Line wreckers, which is a good figure actually. I mean, like I say, I do have him, and he usually has a chainsaw weapon. But yeah, that's the sort of condition when you usually find the bots at boot fairs. They're not necessarily all transformed nicely in that, and you can understand when somebody looks at that, they think what a heap of junk, and they don't buy them so much. And I got that for 20p, I think, with something else as well. Roadbuster, knew it would come to me in the end. But like I say, it's always handy with spare parts, and like I say, he's not that far off being complete actually, so there's a good chance I could complete him and pass him on to somebody. Now another one what's not complete as far as all of the bits maybe you would have come with originally, but it's actually one I don't have, which again is a nice, always nice thing to find, and one I usually take the mick out of, and it is Fatimus Prime himself. It's the more deluxe size, I believe, version of him. Now whether this is the one that would have had the trailer with the other little box what came with it, I think I'm thinking of the right one, or whether this is the one what combines with Omega Supreme, I'm not sure, but yeah, he's alright just for a little tubby Optimus Prime, and again, cost me next to nothing, and the chrome's pretty good on him as well, and paintwork's pretty unmarked, so yeah, again, not a bad little pickup. Now let's get to another one that I picked up, which is actually, as far as I can tell, complete and finishes off a figure for me, or should I say a combiner. I found the other side to, is it Jetstorm or Jetfire in the animated line, but I've got the orange version, which is half of the combined jet mode, and now I've got a complete blue version, so that is a great little find. I've been looking for the blue one for quite some time. So again, great little pickup. I also found a Minicon, which I don't have, which is another one of the little Triceratops Minicons. Not sure who that one's supposed to go with, if it's for an individual bot or whether that was just like an extra one, but different from the ones I already got of this mould. So again, that's quite a nice little pickup in itself. Dinosaur one's always a bit of fun to pick up, so quite pleased with that. I found, and I believe I've got this one, so this is one what I can keep for trades and that, Robot Heroes Brawl. So again, please pick that up just for someone else. And something I'm chuffed to find, which is always nice to find, a fresh Cyberverse or Legion class, whatever you want to class them as. But I found one of the movie Constructicons. Now I think it was sold as a separate one. I don't think this is the actual combining one, but really glad to find another different Cyberverse figure. Yeah, really nice. I quite like that one. It's a good little dumper truck mode as well. Now to a little mystery item as well, which I picked up, which was in amongst, sort of like, I'm trying to think now, when I found the bits of the Optimus Prime from the Cybertron one, a little tiny Starscream, little Seeker. It is in plastic. I thought at first it was metal and maybe like a counter from a board game or something like that, but it is a little plastic figure, all in silver. So I don't know what that's from, but as just, you know, a nice little tiny figure is a good bit of fun, and would kind of be in excuse me, nice in sort of the scale with one of the really great big city formers and that, just to show the real proper scale what they're supposed to look like. So again, nice little bit of fun, and it literally was thrown in with it. Now to the real part, which is the real beast of the pickups. Well, you can't have much more of a beast than finding a near complete, missing a couple of little bits of the accessories, Beast Wars Rhinox. Now he's got his main spinny weapon part, and he's got one of the mace parts. Now I'm not sure, I haven't really done the research into him yet, and I'm not as familiar with this figure. There is obviously a position for maybe another little mace, and I know from the cartoon that he had like a Gatling gun bit, which I think attaches to this weapon. So I think they're the little bits what I've got to sort of try and find for him. But other than that, pretty tidy. The only bit of wear I can really find on him is a little bit of green shown through on the gold horn, but that'd always be possible to touch that up with a bit of paint. But yeah, really nice little pickup. And that wasn't the only one, because from the same seller I also picked up a near complete, but I got another semi-junker which I can probably complete one of them anyway. I found a Waspinator in the Transmetal, but the chrome is lovely. It's mint, not a mark on it, so really chuffed with that. I think the only thing what's really missing on this guy is one of the small wings, which I'm sure on the other one I've got, and one of the insect arms, which I know it's got, so I can finish Transmetal Waspinator. And like I say, looking at the eye chrome on the front there is perfect. Not a scratch, not a ding, nothing off it. Really pleased with that. So that's even one I'll be able to review as well now, where I've found the parts. Another one which helps complete another figure. It's not complete in itself, but it does help with one I got before, and it's Transquito, is it? The mosquito one. Now he's missing a bit of one wing, he's missing one of his legs, but the one I've got has got a bit of wear damage on the holes on the arms, which I know they're prone to. This one isn't quite as bad, so can swap those bits over. And he's got the all-important missile on his head, so I could do a head swap, as I don't think this actually comes right out. I think it just fires forward. So I could swap heads over. It's just a loose pin joint to get that apart, or maybe even take it apart from the neck and just transfer the whole neck system as well. But yeah, so he helps complete another one I actually got from a boot fair near the first of my boot fair hauls actually. The next one has got a tiny bit of damage, but is virtually complete, and it is Transmetal Pterosaur. And again, really love this figure. Didn't remember ever seeing this when they were out, but I wasn't quite looking so much in those days. He's missing the tip off of the, if I can bring that in, the tip off the mauve part, which is on like an engine cover, a little bit like Frost's engines on the G1 Jet. That's what it's supposed to look like to a point, so it's just missing that bit off of there really. Again, really nice. He's got a little bit of a stress crack on his shoulder joint on there, but I've put a little bit of super glue and so far so good. It's been okay. But again, if I show you, chrome is perfect. So whoever played with these and had these as a kid has looked after them reasonably well. You know, there's a odd little bit of damage. That could have even been broken off just in transporting it to the boot fair, literally. But yeah, other than that, great little figure, and I'm sure I might find the parts and just sort him out. The next one is one I thought I didn't really think I'd even find. Now, it's again a Transmetal, and it is just double check the name on this because I am a bit rusty on some of the Beast Wars stuff. Tarantulas. Now, this is a weird story because I've never seen a Tarantulas complete on sort of like in bits before at a boot fair. Now this one is good, got brilliant chrome, lovely chrome on the back, all its legs, but its legs have suffered, there's a crack and a stress mark on that one, if that focuses. It's there on that leg, not coming out greatly on the camera, but yeah, that one's damaged, and there's another one with a stress mark on this side as well, but again it's fainter, so it probably won't show up that great in this light as well. And he's missing the front wheel of the sort of like weird spider bite mode, and a little bit of paint wear on like one of the, well, a couple of the eyeballs there, almost makes it look like they've got pupils in where it's the green paint's worn off. Now like I say, other than that, I was actually quite chuffed to find that, and you know, quite happy. That was on the Saturday actually, on a little boot fair I went to, so yeah, reasonably happy. Went to another one today and found another one, and just to prove I'm not just picking up two of the same, so I found another one. Now strangely enough, wonderful chrome again, really nice. Again, there's the odd leg here, which has got the odd sort of bit of a stress mark again in the same position, so it's obviously something they're prone to. Offhand I can't find it quite so easy, but it does mean I can swap legs over and have none with stress marks. But more importantly than anything, on its leg, there it is, the old circular saw weapon, which is the front wheel for the bike mode. How chuffed was I to find that? And that, with a couple of the other smaller bits, 20p. Yeah, not a bad find at all. And of course, like I say, sorts out a figure and absolutely completes it. Doesn't have the same faults as the other one, or if they're like the legs interchangeable, not really a problem. So that was great. And now one of the last of the bits I picked up this week, and I'd have to say one of the weirdest bots I've found. Does suffer a little bit with the odd stress mark, and I did have to glue back on one of the fins, which I'm afraid, I don't know if it was already cracked or if I was a little bit heavy-handed, but it's back on and so far so good, it's holding on. But other than that, complete. I believe this is Injector, which is one of those weird half fish, half waspy Beast Wars figures. I don't know if it's Beast Wars Neo either, or if it's just a later Beast Wars, but that has got to be one of the weirdest bots. Probably the weirdest bot I own anyway, let's put it that way. But like I say, now I've sorted it out, I think it's pretty much all complete. The only bit I'm not sure about is if there's supposed to be anything on top of the head there on that post. I haven't had a chance to research him yet, so if anyone wants to comment if they know, but I will be checking it out anyway. But definitely a weird one. And the last of the bots I found, which goes to prove that they still are out there. I found I don't know if it's Generation 1, Generation 2 I found. I think it came in back end of Generation 1, and it's the Ironhide. Well, it could be Generation 2. I actually have reviewed this guy, but it is another one of those. It's Gen 2. Got the logo of Gen 2 on the top, so that will focus in. It's not going to play ball too well, but you can just see it in there. It's got the G2 logo. So yeah, always nice to pick up a G2, and it's in, again, really good condition. Not a lot to break on this, it's pretty much a brick, but yeah, no harm in picking up something classic. I think the pull back and go motors had its day though, but you can't have everything, can you? But classic G1, and actually helps again me complete a figure, because I do have one which needed a couple of parts off this guy, shall we say. Now I can actually get around to reviewing it. I found the inner robot to Cloudraker, one of the Pretenders. So chuffed to find that. And again, that Ironhide, the G2, and a couple of the other ones was like £1 for all of them. It's ridiculous. I mean, those 6 Beast Wars, what I've just shown you, the Transmetals, were from one seller, and they set me back £1.75 for all of them, which again is ridiculous, but good, you know. Don't feel I'm knocking it. Now the last bits I picked up are not actual bots. One thing I picked up for was nostalgia value alone. Never had them as a kid, but I thought, I've seen a lot of other people like Action Jackman's reviewed some of the toys and that, and it kind of reminded me of it. And I actually found a Mask Annual, pretty good condition, not really much in it other than the fact it was dedicated to the kid it was given to on his birthday, I think it was. Yeah, to Mark, happy birthday, 8th birthday, with love, Robert. So whether that's a brother or who, I don't know. And it's obviously had its price cut out of it. But other than that, it's pretty well unmarked and unmolested. 10p. Was quite chuffed with that, and actually got another annual off them at the same time, but I got that for my other half. I got her a Count Duckula one, which was in really good condition, and she liked that when she was growing up as well, so she was quite pleased with that. And the last thing I've only got for comic value alone, and it's probably rubbish. It's probably, I don't know whether I'll just watch it and then stick it in the boot for myself, or I will just keep it if it isn't that bad. But I've seen other people mention it, and I never saw it in the shops, but I picked this up for 50p. I found the DVD of Transmorphers. Now I have to let you know how bad that is, but it's got to be worth a laugh just to watch it. And for 50p, it's not the end of the world. I'll stick it in the boot there and get me 50p back any day. But yeah, that is the end of my haul. I've had a really good weekend finding all these bits. Really rather chuffed. Did see a few other bots, but like I say, pretty sort of like complete, bit mashed up. Not worth picking up even for other people for sort of trades or swaps. Saw a lot of Power Ranger stuff, but I don't know anywhere near enough about those to pick them up for people either. But yeah, and a few other odds and ends as well. The odd Ghostbuster figure, saw some of those, but don't even know what the prices were on them. And again, without knowing if people need them or not, I'm not going to necessarily go buying loads of stuff and then find nobody needs it. So it's the sort of thing, if anyone is looking for something particular, let me know, and I'll keep my eye out for those sort of bits. But yeah, I think that's everything, other than a couple of odd missiles which I've picked up just to keep hold of and sort of sort out if I need them for a figure or not, or hang on to them if I get that figure. That's pretty much my haul for this week. So I shall say goodbye. Thanks for everyone watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't seen any of my videos before. And I shall see you again, possibly for a Transformers review. I might get a chance this week, but failing that, maybe a haul next week. It all depends, because I'm going to a sci-fi convention thing next weekend, and I'm working the Saturday, so a little bit difficult to know for sure whether or not I get a chance to pop into a booty before I go to one. Anyway, see you again. Thanks for watching.